Do you want to know how to edit videos like a pro even if you know nothing? In this video, I'm going to show you how to make eye-popping videos for any occasion. And you don't need any fancy software or expensive training to do it. Welcome to the video. This is Roman Grant with EmpireVID. This channel is dedicated to giving people with no experience the resources necessary to create their own content for business and personal use. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and let's get into it. If you're trying to learn how to edit videos and you're feeling overwhelmed, don't get too down on yourself. That's exactly how I felt when I began my journey into the video editing world. I needed to edit videos, but I didn't have time to sit down and learn super technical software. I didn't know where to start until I discovered an online video editor called InVideo. I like it because it has many of the same features and capabilities that professional editing software has, with the main difference being that you don't have to spend a lot of time learning how to use it. And because it's all done online, you don't have to have a high-end computer to get the job done. Plus, you won't need any of your own assets to start, because they have a huge library of audio, video, and image assets free for you to use. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get royalty-free images that you won't find on InVideo to make your videos that much more valuable. Now these are just some of the video editing skills that you'll be learning today. Cropping, working with layers, transitions, effect overlays, changing opacity levels, and animations for text and graphics. Now this is the video that we're going to create today. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to create and edit a video so well, even you'll be surprised. So without further delay, let's dive into InVideo and get started editing. So to start off at InVideo, you'll have to create an account. And when you do that, you'll need to put in your name, email address, and phone number. And then you'll have to verify your email address. Your phone number doesn't have to be real, but they ask for it, so you got to put in 10 digits. If you did want to upgrade and be able to access the premium photos and videos, then you would have to upgrade to the plan. I suggest the business plan because you get everything that you get with the unlimited in the business plan, but it's cheaper. So unless you're going to be exporting over 60 videos per month, which most people aren't, then just stay with the business plan. It's a lot cheaper, and it's also cheaper if you do it by year. But if you don't know if you're going to be using it for that long, then just go with the monthly. You can choose different formats for your video. Say you want the 16:9 ratio, that's good for YouTube. The square 1:1 is good for social media feeds, and the vertical 9:16 is good for social media stories. You could choose to use one of their pre-made templates. They have a lot, and they're really good. So they're all fully customizable to put your logo or any of your company information on them. They also have a text to video option if you wanted to convert a blog post of yours into a video for YouTube or some situation like that. And then they have the blank canvas where you can start from scratch and just start creating it from a completely blank slate. For this tutorial, I will be using a blank canvas, and I'm going to be starting it in a wide format. So this is the InVideo editing platform where you will be editing all of your videos. In the middle here is your current scene that you're working on, and over here is your layers panel. So for this scene, this is a layer right here, this text box, and this logo up here, if you can see it, is a layer as well. Now, when you're working on individual layers, over here in the layers panel, you can select which layer you would like to edit, and then edit that specific layer by resizing it, changing the text, animating it, different things that you can do, cropping images, things like that. So the layers work from top to bottom. Say if I put my logo on top of this text box, you can see that if I click on layers, my logo is on top, but if I wanted to put it behind the text box, I would just drag it down, and now this text box is in front of the logo. So for each layer, there will be different options that you can edit. Like say for a picture, there will be different things that you can edit than there would be for a text box. So you just have to play around with it and you'll get the hang of what you can edit and what you can't. But there are a lot of different options for each individual layer. Over here is your menu where you can access InVideo's large library of stock videos, images, and music. And then you also have the text option to where different text styles that they've pre-made for you if you wanted to use an animated text style that they offer, or you can create your own. And then also they have an uploads folder where all of your uploads that your personal voiceovers, your media like videos and images would be held for you. So you could use them for any project that you like once you upload them. Down here is your timeline. They have two timelines. They have the basic and then they have the advanced. Either one works great. If you have a lot of layers coming in at different times of the scene, so you have a longer scene and you have text boxes flying in and sound effects going off and things of that nature, then you would use the advanced timeline. But for basic video editing, you can go ahead and use the basic timeline. It's perfect, and you can switch back and forth as needed. You have the option of adding a voiceover to your videos where you can either record your own voiceover or use a part of InVideo's text-to-speech, which would use a computer-generated voice. Over here is your navigation and play options. You can either play all of your scenes at once if you just want to review what you've done so far on your project, or you can play the individual scene that you're currently on. And then these two buttons right here are to navigate either going forward or backwards a scene. Here is your scene duration. So you can see that this scene is 6 seconds long. If you wanted to edit that, you would click on this and then you could put whatever time you wanted in there. Over here, you have the option to make your scenes larger or smaller. So if you had a lot of scenes, you might want to make them smaller. Up here you have the export button, and once you're done completing your project, you can export it and render it as an MP4. Here, these are different options that you have for your personal InVideo account. Say if you wanted to go to your projects folder or you wanted to edit your brand presets, you can do that. For brand presets, you can upload your logo and your different brand colors that will be used on all of your projects by default. But still, even if you do this, you can still customize the colors that you use on each individual project if you like. When I start out on a project, I like to get all of my scenes ready to go. So how I do that is I delete all of the layers on the blank scene, and then I duplicate the scenes so that I have a bunch of scenes to work with. I don't have to go back and add scenes here, add scenes there. I just got a bunch of scenes, and I can always modify it by deleting extra scenes that I don't need or adding them more in the future. But to get started, I like to have a bunch of scenes. It seems to save me time. To do that, you would just click on this More Options button and then hit Duplicate, and do that for how many scenes you think that you're going to need. Okay, so I've made all of my scenes, so I'm ready to start working on the first scene. Now I'm ready to start creating and editing. So to begin, I'm going to add a video from InVideo's stock video library. You can click up here and just search for what you're looking for. So to add a video, you would just click on the video that you want to insert, and then you can trim it down to how many seconds you want it to be. So since our scenes are 6 seconds long, you can put this at 6 seconds. You can either enter it right here manually or adjust it here. Now I want to add some text. So you can choose from the many different text styles that they offer that are animated and styled already, or you can create one from scratch and just animate it and style it yourself. So for this scene, I'm going to choose a pre-made text style. This editor is drag and drop. Once you've inserted your text, you can now customize it over here in the layers panel. You can resize it to whatever size you like, and you can also edit the font and the spacing. Now that I have my first scene completed, I can go to the second scene and start editing that one. For this scene, I'm going to make it a collage and put 3 videos in one scene. So first I'm going to double the scene length because I'm going to need more time. So I'm going to make it from 6 seconds to 12. Then I'm going to start by choosing one video, insert that in. Now I'm going to switch over to the advanced timeline. So I want this image to take up this half of the scene, but if I was to resize it like this, it would give me a bad picture of it. So instead, I'm just going to drag it over like so. Then I'm going to add some text. I'm going to change the background color and the text color. So now I want to animate this text box. It already has animation coming into the scene. It's pre-made. So now I need to animate it going out of the scene. And there's 2 layers to animate. One is the text layer. The other is the text box, which is this blue paint stuff. So I need to click on out, and I'm going to choose the roll to right option and adjust it from 1 second to 1.5 seconds going out. So that is basically the speed of the animation. Okay, so now that that's done, I have adjusted it all the way to 5 seconds, which means that this text box will come in at the beginning of the scene and then it will go out at the 5-second mark. And that is when my other video layers will be coming into the scene. So now I want to go over to the videos and choose 2 more videos. So now that I've inserted another video, I have to manipulate it so that it comes in after the text box leaves and that it's the right size. So now, since we're working with multiple layers on the advanced timeline, you can edit these titles so that you know what they are, if you like. Now, since you see that the text box is right here and this is where it ends, you can drag this video to the end of it and it will come in as soon as that one leaves. So you can overlap it a little bit if you like, and then just depending on which animation you put to this video, it will probably end up perfect. So now I want to animate it, and of course you're animating it on the way in. So now I'm going to put some more text down here as another layer. Now I'm going to customize this text. Now, just to show you what else you can do with this text box, you can make the text box a certain color and make it like see-through, so you can change the opacity very easily. And the way you do that is you come over here to colors, and the text box color is at a 0 opacity, so you would just bring that up I like it at a 60. And you can change the color of the text box. So now I have to adjust the text box's animation as well as the timing of it appearing. Since I want it to appear at the same time as the sharks, I just adjust the beginning of it to the same line. So then I'm going to add an outgoing animation. Now we need to add the last video to fill this square up. Now again, I have to adjust it so it goes in at the end of the video. So now I want to add an incoming animation. So I'm going to add one more text box for this scene. And now all I have to do is trim this down. Now I have this scene taken care of, so I'm going to go on to the next scene. So I'm going to add an overlay to this scene. They have a lot of different choices. They have confetti, snow, light leaks, smoke, all sorts of different things, whatever you can imagine. And I've already chosen this one right here. So now I'm going to add some shapes. And you can see they have a lot of shapes to choose from as well. And you can change the color. Now, if you like, you can just copy this by pressing Control-C and then Control-V. Now you can rotate these as well. I'm going to go ahead and put these in like a compass symbol. Now, when you're dragging it, if you see these dotted lines, that means that it is in line with the other object. Now to add some text to the middle of this. So with the overlay, you can put it behind your elements or you can put it in front. So if you do that, just like on the layers panel, you would drag it up and it goes from top to bottom as the way you see it. Now, of course, we should animate these objects because the text is already animated. So I'm just going to adjust them to come in at the same time as the text. Then I have to animate each individual element by itself. Now these are all animated the same way as the text. Now I'm going to shorten this scene. One other technique that I wanted to show you is that you can use an image or video and blur it out and then put the same image on top of it but make it smaller, and it will create a very cool effect. Okay, so I've added the video. Now I'm going to blur it between a 5 and a 7 usually. Now I'm going to add the same video on top of it, and I'm just going to resize it and put it right in the middle so it has a cool effect. For my last scene, I'm going to put all of the techniques that we've learned so far into it, and I'm going to make a really good scene, and I'm going to breeze through this one really quickly. Now that I have all of my scenes finished, I'm going to add some transitions. So you want to be careful when you're adding in transitions because they can interfere with the animations from your images or your videos. So just be mindful of that and make sure that it looks clean before you export it. So for the transitions, I'm just going to use some light leaks and some glitches because since I already have animations for my videos, it's just going to look a lot better. Again, if you just hover over it, it will show you what the transition looks like. Okay, so I just ended up using light leaks in between all of my scenes because I tried to use different overlays and things and it would just interfere with my animations. So the light leaks look good. Go ahead and press this button to preview your whole video. So for the finishing touch, I want to add audio to my video. You can add music all the way through your video, but if you want to add sound effects, you have to break up the music. But for now, you can only either add music or you have to break it up with sound effects. And then once you know you like it, you can go ahead and hit export. So now that it's finished rendering, they put it into your projects folder, which houses all of your current projects that you're working on, as well as past projects that you've already completed. If you wanted to go back, duplicate them, or re-download them, you can do that at any time. And this is where it's at. One of the great things about using an online video editor is that you can take your projects with you anywhere. As long as you have an internet connection, you can download them. So you don't need to carry around storage drives or your laptop in order to have access to all of your video projects. That's the end of the tutorial. As promised, here are 2 websites for royalty-free images. The first one is for photos, and the second one is for graphics like PNGs and logos. Both have an extensive library that you can search and are completely free. You can most definitely find what you're looking for on either of these 2 sites. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you enjoyed yourself, hit that like button. And leave me a comment down below and let me know if there's any improvements that you think I could make on these tutorials or if I leave any question unanswered. Be sure to check out the rest of my channel for more videos on beginner content creation. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.